no. You know what this means. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's me again. The one, the only, Last Chance Radio with David Benjamin. How are you tonight? Boom, let's get it on, baby. Hey, there we are. What is up? How are you? I hope you're doing great tonight. What's up, peace, my friends? Man. Who has ever seen so much diverse news from so many different angles all at once? It's kind of like, whoa, where do you go first? You know? Well, first of all, thank you for tuning in. I am David Benjamin, and this is Last Chance Radio. First thing I'll show you is our channel, and that is Last Chance Radio with David Benjamin on YouTube. Then you'll see our shows listed down there, and you can go back and watch previous episodes. Especially, I'd like you to watch the Tri-Pack video, so you can see how MBS, Kushner, and Netanyahu all got into cahoots with each other. And what did everybody get out of that deal? Just to keep it very brief and short, especially for my listeners who know already. MBS, well, let's back up. Kushner convinced MBS to create a blockade of Qatar, which they did. And when Qatar couldn't get any goods coming in and out of their ports because the Saudi Navy was blocking the Qataris' ports, Kushner shows up and goes, if you want your ports unblocked, I want $999 million to pay off 10% of my 666 building in New York City. So that got pulled off. Now, MBS needs his payoff. Very simply put, part of Westinghouse, and I misspoke this in an earlier episode. I said GE, and that was incorrect. It was Westinghouse, and I apologize for that. But in any event, it was Westinghouse, and so Westinghouse nuclear construction component got basically sold to MBS. Now, of course, Mossad is not stupid, and they went to Netanyahu and they said, Mr. Prime Minister, this deal's going on. So what did Netanyahu do? Netanyahu went to MBS and Kushner and Trump and said, what's in it for me? Ergo, they moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, number one. And number two, Netanyahu received a ton of ownership of Genie Energy, located in the Golan Heights, where it just so happened the United States bombed the crap out of ISIS to get them away from there. Think about that. I'll leave it to you to figure out how this all fits together. If you don't get it, then there's not much I can do to help you. You know what I mean? The news is going to move pretty quick tonight. Not because I don't know. It's not because I'm bored or not because of any other reason. That I just want to give you the news and move on, you know? Tonight I'm wondering how far back Toensing and DiGenova go. It's a legal company or a law firm, and here they are. On Wikipedia, they have been. I believe they were married at one point and then not married, but still they were a legal firm. And believe it or not, they go all the way back to Iran-Contra. And I don't have the entire story yet, and I don't want to jump the shark, so to speak, because I believe they did turn down offers by the Trump administration to represent certain deals and scenarios. And I have a feeling one of the deals and scenarios that they were offered was exactly what Giuliani is doing now. So again, take that, put that in your pocket and think about it for a while. I just want to bring this up. I don't have a screen for it. I can pull up a screen for it. But a guard helicopter crashed tonight in the continental U.S., and I don't know how many dead or injured were on board, but there were troops on board this helicopter. So be advised. I always hate hearing about our troops getting hurt, even if it's in, it doesn't matter to me if it's in a gunfight or if it's in a training exercise, etc. Just anytime troops are hurt, it hurts me. I'm sure you feel the same way. There's so much news going on. So today, of course, I would be remiss in not bringing up and saying to you that Madam Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, first thing this morning, walked right up to the podium with those 5 beautiful flags folded behind her. If when you see it again, count them. I don't know why I have this thing. I count the flags. Something wrong with me. What do I know? And all I can do is tell you what I see. Sometimes I think to myself, though, that because I see things like that, instead of looking directly at her and missing everything behind it, that's part of what makes me good at what I do. That I can see the thing in front of me, and I can also see what's behind it all contemporaneously. Does that make any sense? I hope so. Because I have a feeling that's... I'm not going to sit here and blow my own trumpet. Gosh, we have enough trumpets and maggots out there, don't we? Anyways, we are going to talk more about these folks here in just a second. But I did want to bring to you also that another breaking news story out of, let's call it Dade and Broward County, Florida, where I happen to live. And I'm not bringing this up because that's where I live. I'm bringing it up because it's a pretty harrowing story from what I can gather so far from some of my local connections, that a jewelry store was robbed, and it became a not just a robbery, but a speeding chase, a gunfight, and then accidents taking place after that. I was just trying to see if I had it sitting here on my phone. Yeah, there it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. I'll see if this will tilt and turn around. And I still don't know if you'll be able to see this very well. But I'll show you. See it? That's the jewelry store. And you can see developing story on WSVN 7 out of Miami. Their studios are at 79th Street. And they've been there forever. Anyways, I just thought I'd show you that. And supposedly after the end of the gunfight chase and everything, this jewelry store holed up 3 dead. And that's all I know right now. And they left a mess on the highway. Trucks or a UPS truck perhaps. I saw a UPS truck in the shop, but I'm not sure. And I'm just bringing you this early news because that's what I saw just before I came on air. So, what else do we have here for you this evening? I'm trying to figure out which way I want to bring it to you. But I did bring up to you the Iran Contra Toensing DiGenova deal right up front. Okay? And those people go all the way back to the Iran Contra scenario, which involved Ollie North and perhaps Ronald Reagan, and there was a bunch of people involved in that. I don't know if you're old enough to remember it or not, but I was alive during it, and it was a mell of a hess. It was drugs for guns, for cash, to fund the Contras, and it was insane, and I am not kidding you. I mean, it was one of those things where you're going, oh, holy crap, what is our country doing? And this is another shot of Century Arms, and I don't have anything against Century Arms, other than they get themselves involved in some stupid ass crap, you know? Who's running that joint? Well, that's definitely not it. That is it. And it shows Century Arms on one of the right wing's favorite places to go shopping, which is cheaper than dirt. And I'm having a pain in the ass time with switching screens here, so I'm just redoing it real quick. And I come back to me so I can do that real quick. And I'm just not as smart as I think I am. Oh, perhaps I am. Man, it's just one of those, sometimes. Anyways, this is Century Arms here. And so why am I bringing them up? Okay. Century Arms were in the drugs for money scenario out of Iran-Contra, and now Toensing and DiGenova being involved. They were involved back then, and they're involved now. Century Arms is where the guns came from. And the interesting thing also about this, and I was just telling some of my friends on my Twitter feed, and if you ever want to find me on Twitter, just go to at David Man on Fire. David Man on Fire on Twitter, and you'll find me there. So, any questions or whatever, you can get me there. Or, when this is posted up on YouTube in a minute, All you got to do is, I can't believe how many people use Twitter so brilliantly and cannot figure out how to use YouTube. I mean, seriously, this is retarded, okay? Just underneath, there's a description box. Right underneath here, okay? And it says subscribe. There's a big button that says subscribe. Please click subscribe. And then, if you'd like to know when I put out a new video, click the bell. You'll see, ding dong, a bell. Okay? Okay, but besides that, if you look underneath me down here, there are videos right there. In order, just a bunch, 10, 15 videos, right? If you keep scrolling all the way down to the bottom, there's a comments section there where you can write to me, and if you ask a halfway decent question, I will answer you. I am having a difficult time understanding why there are no questions. What, am I too smart for you? Is that the problem? I'm joking, obviously. But seriously, write me a comment for goodness sakes. What's wrong? You say the show's good, say the show sucks. You know. And by the way, speaking of suck, see this background here? This is about to be changed into a green screen. And then I'll have like this big magical animated globe turning behind me, and I can look like all the rest of the fake ass shit in the world. Don't get me started. Anyways, let's continue on. So I told you about the jewelry store robbery that ended up in 3 deaths, gunfight, high-speed chase that went. Man, it went from Coral Gables. I don't know how many of you know the layout of down here. Not many of you will, but Coral Gables is in South Miami, okay? And where it ended was in Miramar, which is, if you go from Coral Gables to Miramar, I'd say something around 12 miles, maybe as high as 20 miles. And that's where the end took place. So it was a long duration event. Even if they were going really fast, it's still a long duration event. And then high speed, gunfight, jewelry robbery. It's got all the hallmarks of something I want to see more video of. Like, I want to see the cop cam video. That's what I want to see. In the middle of all this, we've got, like I said, the Iran-Contra affair, right? Now, you're not going to be able to read any of this, but the Iran-Contra affair, Casa del Polarized, God, I can't even read it. In Iran is the McFarlane affair, Iran-Contra scandal, or simply Iran-Contra, was a political scandal in the United States that occurred during the second term of Ronald Reagan's administration. The administration's officials secretly made sales of arms to Iran that was subject to an arms embargo. In other words, they broke the embargo, so that's why they call it Iran-Contra, because they did one thing. They sold arms, and then they took the money, and then they bought drugs, and then the drugs they bought, they resold, and it was a disaster. I mean, I am not even kidding y'all. Now, here is, as I referenced at the beginning of the show, Toensing and DiGenova. I don't know who's involved and how deep it goes, but Giuliani and Toensing know each other. That's enough for me. I want to know what Joe DiGenova and Victoria Toensing, working with Rudy Giuliani, knew and when they knew it. Where was this questioning during the Intelligence Committee hearings, and where is this now that it's gone through judiciary? What the hell, man? So listen, if the Republicans want to call more witnesses and the Democrats want to allow them to call more witnesses, I want the Democrats to call Giuliani and Toensing and put them at the table at the same time and then ask them questions that will force them to give each other up like a pair of criminals that they are. You get what I'm trying to say? I mean, hey, listen, any good, halfway good prosecutor would put the two people at the table and say, didn't you do this? You get an answer, and then you look at the other one and go, what do you say to this? And just start having them contradict each other. They'll start selling each other down the road like a bunch of hot frogs in warming kettle water, trying to jump their froggy ass out of it. That's the way it works. That's the way you do it as a prosecutor. Telling you. All right, enough of me being Perry Mason, right? So, like I told you, CIA is not CIA. CIA is Century International Arms, and keep your eye on the fact that Toensing Jr., because the Toensing I'm talking about may be the senior, which is a woman, I guess the mother of the junior, and I believe the junior is the one who is representing Century International Arms as not only a lobbyist, but as a lawyer, and has also gotten himself involved in this Trump-Giuliani Ukraine deal. It just keeps going, folks. It just keeps going. So, I don't have all the details on this. If you want to write me a David Man on Fire on Twitter, or you want to leave me a comment down below and tell me where to look for something new that I don't know, please do help me out here. I'm more than open. I don't claim to know everything. I may have a couple of connections and whatnot, but they don't know everything either. That's just kind of the way, that's just kind of the way of the world. So, I'm going to take a 2-second break here, and I'm going to show you something. And what I'm showing you here now is my book. And it just got released about 6-7 days ago, and it's available on Amazon, and as you can see there in the top left, Barnes & Noble. It's called Inertial Guidance, Vibration and Frequency, How to Attune Them for Your Journey Through Life. This is the only way that I am able to pay for my show. I don't have any other sponsors. And if I ever take any sponsors, it'll be because I have vetted them and found them to be extraordinarily straight up and really awesome people. And I mean, like, if they want to sell beef jerky like you hear about on other shows, I have to go to their place. Literally, I have to go to their place. I have to see how they get it. I have to see how they treat it. I have to see how they bag it. I have to see how they do everything, or I will not put my name behind any product unless you know that it comes from me, that I say, I saw it with my own two eyes, and it's square, and it's good. That's the only way it'll happen. It won't happen any other way. Until then, I wrote this book. I know what's in it. I stand behind it. I can tell you that you will learn things from this book about how to communicate with other human beings like you've never even thought about before. I'll also tell you things about the universe you may not have thought about. And that's the fun. There's serious parts of this book, and there's fun parts of this book for your brain. And also, one of the biggest questions human beings have while we're here on this earth is, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my purpose here? Why me? Why am I here? I tell you why I think we're all here. And I'll give you a hint. We're sensors. You know, you put a sensor on something to say something's too hot or too cold or this or that. I'm going to leave it right there and just tell you that that's a hint, a clue. But it's much deeper than that. Much, much, much deeper than that. But it's so much fun to read and find out what I think we're doing here. And heck, I might be wrong. I freely admit that. But I actually think I'm right, to be honest with you. 5 years it took me to complete it because I wanted to make sure I had it. Like I said, I won't get behind something I don't believe in. Okay? So that's my commercial. And if you'd like to sponsor the show, if you'd like to show and demonstrate that you appreciate at least what I'm trying to do here, please buy the book. I'd be really grateful if you did. Seriously, I'm really grateful. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and there'll be more booksellers soon. And as soon as it gets up on those, maybe I'll mention them too, but the easiest places are Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Who doesn't have an Amazon account? Just go to Amazon, type in Inertial Guidance Book. Inertial, Inertial, Guidance Book. We'll be okay. So anyways, to close out this evening, as I was looking through this Toensing and DiGenova bit, I realized that going a long ways back in my history, when I was a young pup, and I was underneath the tutelage of, I'm not going to say anything at all about who that person is. I'll just say his name was Mike. That's all I'll say. And we did commercial diving together. We also, on our off time, went spearfishing together. We were like these underwater fantastic human being, former special forces, etc., etc. He introduced me to Barry Seal, and Barry Seal who was he? He's nothing to me. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I had no idea he was flying stuff in and out of Arkansas to Medellin, over to Panama, picking up a bag of cash here, flying it in under the DEA's planes upside down. I mean, this guy was maniac. So, check this out. And this is the last part of the story, and this is the last part of the night's show. But check this out, because you always got to save the best for last, right? Of course. The movie with Tom Cruise in it called American Made. Okay? It started out as being completely about Barry Seal, Iran Contra, guns for drugs for money. And his part in it as one of the pilots, and he was a hell of a pilot. I mean, a hell of a pilot. Right? But so when it was about to come out, okay, it had a different name. And I'll let you go look up what its different name was. But it was pulled back from release because Hillary Clinton was running at the time. This is pre-2016 election, right? And The reason it was pulled was because Barry Seal was landing and taking off and had his hangars at an aircraft at an Arkansas place. And guess who the governor was at the time? Bill Clinton. There you go. So you're going to tell me Governor Bill Clinton didn't know about guns for drugs for money in this several C-130s flying out of this private dip-dunk airfield? The state police knew all about it. The local cops knew all about it. So if they both knew about it, you're going to tell me that the governor didn't know about it? Bullshit. Bullshit. But that's why the movie got pulled back while Hillary was running. No diss to Hillary. And no diss to Bill. To be honest with you, I don't care about that component of it anymore. For all they knew, they were told by NSA and CIA and DIA, etc., we have to do this, it's for the better of the nation, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't get enough information to know that it was drugs for guns for money and it was filthy to high heaven. It's plausibly deniable. So that's why I'm not getting up their butt over it. Okay? If I had one... There have been people who come forward and tried to say Clinton, Clinton, Clinton. And they've all ended up... no, not suicided. Just turned up being extraordinarily drunkards or some involved in some other filthy crap to the point where you go, this isn't a source. You don't use sources who are screwed up. You just don't. But it's still kind of freaky that this was going on and Bill was the governor. And now Hillary was running, and now the film gets pulled for later release by like a year and a half and renamed. The name of the movie was not originally American Made. Look it up yourself. I'm not going to say what it was originally called. I'm not doing it. I want you to teach yourself some of this stuff. It's a simple Google search. Do it yourself and come and tell me. That's your challenge. I challenge you to go find out the original name of American Made, the movie, and put it in the comment section down below. How about that? If you want to learn, you got to do. Don't just sit here and be a consumer of information and think you don't have to do anything. Everybody will just spoon feed you baby food, Gerber, man. Come on, man. Let's get with it. Do me a favor. Buy my book. Is that straightforward enough? Buy my book, and I would really appreciate it because that's going to help me continue to come on here and not have to go flip burgers or make pizzas or some other crap that my 58-year-old body would really hate you for, okay? So listen, as always, I really do enjoy coming on here and talking to you. The people who watch this, I really appreciate you, and I thank you for being here. And I mean that right here. My name is David Benjamin, and this is Last Chance Radio, bringing you the news behind the news to the best of my ability every time. And I wish you a good night.